Okay, let's talk for a second about the Angels situation. Mike Trout, meniscus surgery, minimum 3 months. At this point, they've not detailed whether it could be much longer. If you go in and you do clipping of the meniscus and you suture it, it's a 3 month procedure. If you go in and have to take stuff out because it's shredded, that could be 6 months. But there's still generic conversation that maybe Mike Trout is going to be back sometime after the All-Star break once we get beyond that 3 month window. So that's the storyline there. The Miami situation, obviously, with the trade. I mean, my God, I saw the out-of-town scoreboard the next afternoon. I looked at it and it said 20-4. The Oakland A's led like in the 6th inning. The Miami clubhouse must have just caved in. And they're not done because Peter Bendix, who just came from the Tampa Bay Rays to become their new general manager, he's indicated we can't live this way. They're 9-28 now. He says there will be more trades coming, which means Jazz Chisholm is going to be gone, which means one of their other pitchers, maybe Edward Cabrera, who's been shopped, would be gone. But they got so much pitching on the disabled list, and this is just an unmitigated disaster, what Miami Marlins baseball has become. And if you think the attendance figures last year for the Oakland Athletics were bad, you check the box scores going forward here in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if anybody is going to go to Miami Marlins baseball. And then towards the Dodgers, let's talk about some unique storylines there. Walker Buehler comes back tonight. First start in 23 months. He's really been open. He's been really vocal just about his approach coming off the second elbow surgery. And he said, I will be max effort. That's who I am. That's what got me to the major leagues. I have no fear there'll be a setback. I will be max effort. And he used a phrase I'd never heard a pitcher use before. He says, when they give him the ball tonight, he walks to the mound and he says, I will take ownership of this game. The next 9 innings belong to me. The guy's schizo. The guy psychologically is amped. So Walker Buehler comes back. They think that's a positive. His last outing in AAA in the rehab was really good. So the cavalry has arrived. In addition, Blake Trinan, who had not pitched for a year and a half because of all types of injuries, including a fractured rib in spring training, he's back. He's throwing BBs. He pitched well out of the bullpen. And Clayton Kershaw threw 15 fastballs in the bullpen, all plus 90 in his first workout coming off the shoulder surgery. Now, he's a ways away. I think the target date for him is still August the 1st. So you got Angels and the trauma with Trout. You got the mess in Miami, and all of a sudden the Dodgers taking on a little bit of a different persona because a piece of the cavalry has arrived. And by the way, the freaking batting order, the top half of the batting order is hitting anywhere from 286 to 366.
Really?
1 through 5. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Max Muncy had 3 home runs on Saturday. Ohtani hit a 464-foot bomb amongst the 2 that he hit yesterday. Betts is Betts. Will Smith is hitting 300. Freddie Freeman is right around 300. I mean, it's amazing. It's almost like top of the Dodger batting order becomes must-see TV. And John Riley says,
okay, let's talk about Miami, because roll the clock back about a year or so ago. The Miami Marlins were a playoff team. They had the manager of the year in Skip Schumacher. They had Kim Ng as the GM, who everyone was really excited about. She finally got her opportunity. And maybe if you go back even a little further, you had, Derek Jeter in the ownership box, and they've just blown it all up. I mean, what's the deal there? I mean, is it just because Miami can't support a team? They get all their ducks in a row to win a World Series once every few years, and then they go right back into the tank. Miami should be able to support this team, but instead now the management's just ripping it apart again.
Yeah, I don't understand the background of Bruce Sherman, the owner. I mean, if we all hate on John Fisher in Oakland, we should probably hate on Bruce Fisher because he's just denigrated Miami Marlins baseball. I mean, they did win back in the day with Jim Leyland as manager, and they went to the World Series and had good players, and then they had ownership problems, and they had a fire sale, and it's just been face down on the cement since that point in time. And then Derek Jeter went in there with ideas, and he made a lot of changes in the front office, and they tried to build the roster. And then they brought Kim Ng in as the general manager with Skip Schumacher, and they rented some veterans to complement the young guys. Now that they've had an inordinate number of setbacks to their pitching staff. They lost the ace of their staff, Jose Fernandez. He died in a boating accident, and cocaine was involved, and all that. And it's been downhill ever since that tragic death on Biscayne Bay. And they've got so many pitchers currently on the disabled list, led by Sandy Alcantara, who's recovering from elbow surgery. And that's a 16 to 20 month process for him. So it's just been bad. But, where's Bruce Sherman allowed to own this team and run this team the way he does? And he runs it into the ground. And they built the city of Miami and the county built them a new stadium and footed a lot of the bill. And look at what's on the field as a product, as a trade-off for giving them all this money. It's just a bad set of circumstances. And I don't understand Major League Baseball not doing interventions when you've got bad owners, that guy in Miami and John Fisher in Oakland, why you allow those things to go on and operate the way they do, because it destroys the structure of Major League Baseball to have this many small market black eye franchises taking revenue sharing and not putting it back in to put a better product on the field for the fans. And that's what baseball's all about. It's a great business model, but it's also to serve your community and serve your fans. And that's not being done in a couple different locations.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, remember back in the day, the commissioner kind of had a heavy hand. Now the commissioner is just an employee of the owner. So he's a pawn for them. But I don't know, the Marlins, man, it's nuts. Bring back Jeff Conine, go back to the good old days. But it's really sad to see that happen. I don't know what Major League Baseball can do. I mean, how can they force an owner out?
I think they can if they have a degree of certainty that this guy's incompetent or this guy's just a profiteer. Like Ron Darling, the voice of the Mets, who pitched for the Oakland A's during their great years. Mm-hmm. He went vocal at the end of last week. We talked about it on our podcast. He said, "Can somebody please tell me what benefit John Fisher's ownership in Oakland brings to all the other owners in Major League Baseball?" I mean, there should be some pressure points to run the business the correct way, and the business model is to be successful, not the way they're doing it there. And there's controversy other places. There's a pile of heat being directed at Ben Cherington and the ownership of the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have the top young draft pick. He's got a 0.76 ERA at AAA Indianapolis. Paul Skeens, number one draft pick, Pittsburgh Pirates out of LSU. Kid's throwing 102 miles an hour. They can't hit him in AAA. He's still in AAA. Why is he not at PNC Park in Pittsburgh at the front end of the rotation, where they're trying to build this thing and make some progress? They just don't have enough players. They've got some good young guys in place, the O'Neill Cruzes of the world, but why is Skeen still down there? And I don't give a crap, and the fans don't give a crap about, we don't want to open up his first contract year because that'll impact our arbitration years. Screw that.
I agree.
You're charging Pirate fan full ticket to walk across the bridge into that stadium, full ticket price. Put the best product on the field. You should have your number one draft pick out there, even if you start his free agent clock a half year early. Screw that idea.
Yeah, screw it. That's like Steven Strasburg went through that.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Okay, so we go from that baseball top